told me to go earn my own. Then Grandpa's lawyer stood up and read a secret he kept just for me. My mom started screaming. I've always been the invisible child. While my sister Ava got ballet lessons, private tutors, and a BMW for her 16th birthday, I got hand-me-downs and lectures about gratitude. The message was clear. Ava was the investment. I was the backup plan. The only person who saw me was Grandpa Tom. Every Sunday, he'd take me to his workshop where he built furniture. While my parents fawned over Ava's recitals, Grandpa taught me about wood grain. "You've got steady hands, kid," he'd say. That means character. When Grandpa died last month, my parents seemed excited. They'd been dropping hints about his estate for years. The will reading was at his lawyer's office downtown. I arrived in work clothes from my hardware store shift. Ava showed up in designer everything, Mom and Dad flanking her like bodyguards. The lawyer, Mr. Smith, adjusted his glasses. To my daughter Patricia and husband David, I leave my vintage watch collection, valued at $200,000. Mom's smile was tight. Dad nodded like he'd expected more. To my granddaughter Ava, Mr. Smith continued, I leave $10 million in the property at 4482 Maple Drive. Ava squealed. Mom grabbed Dad's hand, beaming. I felt my chest tighten, but honestly, I'd expected this. Then Mom turned to me with practiced sympathy. Sweetheart, Grandpa had his reasons. You're young and capable. You'll go earn your own. That's right, Dad added, not even looking at me. Ava's always been more responsible with money. I stood to leave. Maybe he left me his old toolbox. That would have been enough. Mr. Harrison, please sit down, Mr. Smith said firmly. We're not finished. Something in his tone made everyone freeze. He pulled out a second folder, thicker, his expression shifting to something satisfied. What you just heard was from his will, dated 2019, Mr. Smith said slowly. However, 6 months before his death, Thomas created a new trust, a secret trust. The room went silent. To my grandson, Marcus, Mr. Smith read, voice growing stronger, who never asked me for anything, who spent Sundays learning instead of scheming, who has steady hands and true character, I leave the following. The entirety of my business holdings in Smith & Associates Furniture Manufacturing, the property at 2250 Riverside, including the main workshop, my investment portfolio, worth $23 million, and a letter. Mom's face went pale. Mr. Smith handed me an envelope. My hands shook as I opened it. Marcus, if you're reading this, they did exactly what I expected. They gave Ava the money because she's always been their priority, and told you to earn your own because you've never been enough in their eyes. I changed everything 6 months ago after Ava asked me to invest in her boyfriend's cryptocurrency scheme. When I said no, she called me senile. Your mother agreed. You never asked for anything. You just showed up every Sunday and learned. That's character. This is yours because you earned it. Make me proud. Grandpa Tom. The paper crumpled in my shaking hands. This can't be legal, Mom said, voice rising. He was senile. Ava deserves. Mrs. Harrison, Mr. Smith interrupted coldly. Your father was evaluated by 3 independent physicians. He was of completely sound mind. This trust is ironclad. Marcus, Dad said, his tone shifting to fake warmth. This is a family matter. We should discuss what? I asked quietly. How you spent 28 years making sure I knew I wasn't worth investing in? Ava spoke. You're seriously going to take this from me? From your own sister? He's not taking anything from you, Mr. Smith said. The $10 million is still yours. Marcus is receiving his own inheritance. But that's not fair, Mom shouted. Ava needs that money. Marcus literally works at a hardware store. Actually, I said, gathering the papers, I work at a hardware store I own. Bought it 3 years ago. Grandpa co-signed the loan. I paid him back every penny ahead of schedule. Funny how you never asked about that. Silence. We'll contest this, Dad threatened. Mr. Harrison, Mr. Smith interrupted. I've been practicing law for 40 years. This trust has more protective clauses than anything I've drafted. Your father anticipated every challenge. If you attempt to contest it, there's a clause that immediately donates Ava's $10 million to charity. Mom started screaming then. Actually screaming. About betrayal. About ungrateful children. About how Grandpa had been poisoned against them. Security had to escort her out. As I left that office, I realized Grandpa hadn't just left me money. He'd left me validation. Proof that someone saw me, truly saw me, and decided I was worth